Hello everyone, I am Galaxy Drifter and welcome back to this new video in Trailmakers. I'm sorry if my videos come out every once in a while. I actually wanted to make this video 1 week prior, but I had something between my hands and initially I wanted to do something different in Trailmakers, but then one thing led to another and I built this thing. I mean, that's not at all what I was supposed to build, but then I built this thing. Last time I was talking about planes, want to build a plane, but as things go I got carried away and built a spaceship instead. So today I'm gonna showcase it to you. I baptized this the Manta Ray. It has 93 cores. It is supposed to be a spaceship that is capable of entering and exiting the atmosphere of a planet and doing that in a VTOL mode. I will show it to you just now. This is VTOL capable. It has landing gear that automatically retracts after a certain height, and it can also fly as a plane basically. This thing took me, I think, 2 weeks, most of 2 weeks, between Christmas and also work, so this got me real busy. As you can see, it is pretty stable, doesn't float around too much. I'm really happy with this. It can also withstand a gravity of 1.5. Here, let's take off again. It struggles, but it can take off and fly at 1.5 G. It cannot do it at 2 Gs. I tried. Unfortunately, this is not strong enough. So let's reset. Okay, and now I'll show you how it flies. Let's take some speed. Okay, here we go. I gave it back thrust vectoring for pitch and roll. You can yaw with gyros. It has gyros for every direction. It does not dive really well, but it pitches really good. In fact, you have to be careful, otherwise it can stall, which I don't really like. It has 4 blasters, 1 EMP launchers and 2 shields to cover it completely. This thing was originally created for exploration, like you're entering a planet and then just scouting it, taking a good look at it. It can fly pretty fast, 460 kilometers per hour, which in mile is, let's find out. (290 freedom units, more or less). Which is quite fast for a non-glitch creation. My fastest plane can reach 500 kilometers per hour. No, 500 miles per hour, which is 800 kilometers. This is about half that, which is not bad considering that a plane usually goes around 300 kilometers per hour, which would be, let me do some quick math for the conversion. about 250, 60-ish miles per hour. I don't have a calculator with me now, but I think I'm about right. Another thing that I did with this is a modular thrust, which you know me, I like to put at least 2 gears, let's say, in my planes. This is no different, but this one has 3 gears. So it has a low gear that I'm using right now, a medium gear, as you can see I'm picking up speed now, but still losing some altitude, and then a high gear, which is full throttle. This is useful especially in planets with low Gs, because you can better modulate how much thrust you're using and how fast or slow you can ascend or descend in VTOL mode. And last thing, it also has some 2 quantum radars instead, which you can see the tray that is leaving. But the quantum radars are not only used as stabilizations, they are also used as brakes. If I press Ctrl, that happens. So, you've seen this thing, my manta ray, flying around on the map. Let's try to land this. Okay, VTOL mode on. And let's land on the helipad. And touchdown. Let's take a look at it in VTOL mode and also in plane mode. I really like how this turned out. And why not? Let's also see how it performs on space and low G planets. Let's go to the space map. Okay, here we are on Galena 9, and here we are with the manta ray. Let's take a flight through space. Previously I showed you how in atmosphere it reaches about 400 km per hour, in space can go much faster, obviously, around 770 more or less, as you can see right now. I think this looks really cool in space, it fits the theme really well. It maneuvers quite well, even if I find it to be a bit drifty. I'm not really sure if this is something to do with maybe the build itself, I built something wrong, or if it is about how spacecrafts handle generally in Trailmakers. I'm not really sure about this, because I didn't really play much in the space map. And as you saw just a moment ago, it sparks and clanks, and that's really a downside that I tried to fix but couldn't. I've done my best. The problem is the landing gear. I think, I'm not sure, there are lots of things that don't really go as I would like, even if I'm really happy with it. And unfortunately, Trailmakers is a bit of a clunky game, so a bit of clank is always to be expected, and even if I try to minimize it, it still persists. So Now let's enter the atmosphere of Dune and let's see how this thing performs in half a G. Okay, it automatically transforms once it enters atmosphere. I can also transform back into a plane if I want. I transform by pressing X, and it is on a toggle. I can set it to auto transform or just transform whenever I want, but I can only do it if there is at least 0.4 Gs. This is a failsafe I made just not to screw up when I'm in space, maybe dogfighting, and then just screw myself over by pressing the wrong key. I did it because it happened and it was very unpleasant during a dogfight. On low G it performs really well. As you can see, I'm flying no problem. Now let's transform and let's try to land. On low Gs I usually use low gears, obviously, otherwise I would just fly up definitely. And I'm really quite up, so this is going to take a while. I've added a limiter to how fast I can descend, which is set at 50 km per hour, so I don't crash too hard onto the ground. And here we are approaching the ground. Landing gear deploys. Let's stop our momentum. Let's contract it a bit. Okay, and we have landing. Now there are some gyro stabilizers inside which prevents us from tipping over. But at this point, I mean, these are space creations. If you don't have gyros or gyro stabilizers, nothing would work basically. So you've seen it perform in 1G, 1.5G, this is 0.7 Gs, works just fine. Last thing we can do is try to dogfight with this. So let's find some pirates. There should be some on the wreck. Right next to here. Oh, it's over there. Let's go. This thing looks really good in screenshots. I took some, and maybe I'll show you some of them at the end of the video. We have some pirates, let's activate our shields and let's engage. We got some damage, but our shield took most of it. As I said before, something that I don't really like with how the spaceship handles is that it is a bit too drifty, so I have to be really careful and feathering how much I tilt it. Otherwise I just start drifting across space, which is to be expected, but I don't know if I can fix this just by adding some quantum radars or maybe changing something to the way it works, or if you just quirk or space because I don't really know how space works. I haven't really spent much time in the space map. I'm more of a plane guy, but maybe I'll do some more spaceships, and maybe I'll show them to you if I'm particularly liking them. This one. So I would say that it handled the fight pretty well. And before I forget, there's one more thing that I want to show you, which is the logic inside. Let's slow down. Quantum break in action. It works like a charm. Now we got some damage. Let's see what got damaged. Just some minor aesthetic damage on the engines, which are not really that well protected, but they look cool, and that's what matters, I suppose. Okay, let's stop right here and let's go to build mode. If I select something, here it goes, you can see all the logic that is packed inside. There is really a ton of it, and I mostly forgot what it does. So, pink is for the brakes. I have some pink here, here, and here. And I think some of it is no longer functional because I changed it to do something else. Like, what was this about? Oh yeah, this. Good, I lost it. This here was responsible for diminishing the throttle when I pressed Ctrl on the thrusters, but that didn't really work that well. I noticed that if you put a negative input going into a thruster, it just turns it on. Unless it is already on, then it diminishes the throttle, but this inconsistency made it really hard to use, so instead I adopted for the system where the thruster just open up and let the spaceship free fall a bit, that you saw. So this is no longer functional. This is still functional, and it goes for, yeah, this opens up the back thrusters, and this is for the air brake. So this back thrusters, this is front thrusters, okay, and this is for the air brakes. Yes. Landing gear is controlled by these two distance sensors over here, or just that, nothing else. I could have put it on a manual also, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary, so I didn't. Thrust control is the worst thing ever. I mean, it's really complicated, but not really. Basically, this is Shift for low gear, Alt for low gear as well, but they combine with each other. So Alt is on a toggle and Shift is just on a press, so you can keep Alt on and use Shift to better maneuver yourself if you need it. And every thruster is on space, so that's for full throttle. Shields are just on the number 2 key, they work independently. This right here is the master switch. I call like this because this is basically what makes everything function. We have a gravity sensor which is set on 0.4, hence why the VTOL mode only works on 0.4 gravity or higher. This is the X button just to activate it, and this is the end gate which is hooked to basically everything. I mean, not everything, but like everything that is like switches and toggles for airplane and VTOL mode. and also it hooks into the air brake because the air brake does not work in VTOL mode, as that wouldn't really make sense. So instead, in VTOL mode, the engines open up to let the spacecraft descend, while in flight mode it opens the air brake to slow it down. This is for thrust vectoring. All this here on the other side, and also inside here, which is a bit of a mess to see, but this is all for thrust vectoring. In fact, if we select these aiming servos, well, not aiming servos, whatever that is, rotating servo, here you can see that is hooked up to a lot of stuff. Let's go to Galena 9 for a second just to show you the air brake. Now I'm going to press Ctrl for the air brake, like if we were flying. As you can see, the air brake opens, but if I press X while keeping Ctrl pressed for the air brake, the air brake closes and the engines open up to let the spacecraft descend. See?
Little Eggnog has gotten lost from their parents and can be picked up at the reception desk.
Very well, everyone. This has been Galaxy Drifter. Thank you for watching, and we will see each other on the next video. Goodbye.